This was the opening move of this 59 move beatdown. Ruslan Gazdev is 13 years old, a candidate master. He's playing against one of the world's best blitz players, Mr. Nans He-Man, and he doesn't just beat him, he crushes him so bad that Niemann then goes on to rage quit this Title Tuesday early tournament, or so we assume because he stopped playing. Let's have a look at this online chess wizardry. This move is played by hands. The Caro Khan turns into a bit of a Caro Khan. Watch this from the white side of things. You would honestly think it's a grandmaster with the white pieces, and a seriously strong one at that. Those bishops crossing swords, making up for the compromised structure over here. Now we see this bishop develop. Castles. Where does the knight belong? Well, this is where you got to know your openings. Here, not so good. Running into pins and stuff. Here, good. Supports, you're going to see. Now, knight d7, bishop f4. Hence the knight on e2. Lovely jubbly. And we see this one waited for, then challenging. So the knight drops back to f8. No mate, they say. Now we see takes, queen recaptures, and the knight rotates into here, headed for that juicy f5 square. With 13 moves in, look at the clock times. Ruslan with more time than he started with. Niemann there or thereabouts. These guys are so good. Check out Lotus Chess in the description if you want to be a master at your openings. Gamifies the whole thing. Really fun. How does this get a question mark? Such a natural move. Fighting for the file. Whatever. Let's crack on. Now we see h3. It's just great tidy chess by both players. This looks weird. Underdeveloping. Is Niemann setting up for the next game in despair? Well, no. Strong players do this at times. Just open other pieces. Leave this guy playing. Whoops, drunken bishop. Now we see this one here, and it's lovely chess. You know, run it back. What's the move here? What's the play for white? Do you push a pawn? Do you bring a rook? What? Do you jump or something? Start exchanges? It's such mature middle game play. Yes, you could already fight for this line here with your bishop, but Niemann lashes out. So typical of his style. He wants to mix things up, changing the pawn structure slightly. We do now see this a-pawn pushed, looking to undermine the structure. Very natural. Niemann goes for one of the most rock solid and steady camel toes in chess here. Love this one. And in response we see AB, testing, always captured towards the center unless it's a bad idea, then don't listen to me. The knight centralizes, hits the queen, and after she enters the position here, a seahorse is spawned. We can just see that white has ever so slightly the edge. You know, both open files occupied, slightly better, more advanced knight. The white queen isn't as good, but okay, little bit better for white, better pawn structure. Now we see queen f5 played, and this is really just a nice moment for me where you're going, wow, these 13-year-old candidate masters are good. I mean, what to play here? You want to invade with the rook, but you can't do that, then you lose here. And if you do the swap of the rooks first, well, actually, that doesn't help so much. Sorry, if you swap here, then this rook comes and black's getting counterplay. You know, what else? Do you hop the knight somewhere? Do you bring the queen back into the game somehow? Well, knight b7 was played. Just a really nice little bit of tickle, but Niemann's not giggling. We see takes with check. Rook recaptures, and now you should fight for this open file, given that this one is out of your control. But Niemann, in excellent shape right now, goes for a rook lift. Understandable when you look that good. But now how about this? Queen a3. Just a lovely little move. Karpovian in its kind of squeezing thing here. You fight for the a file, and also there's ideas of knight d6 now, or a rook invasion. Very nice. Knight e6 is now played, but it runs into knight d6, and you're in a world of pain, because the queen is attacked, and so is this pawn. That's why Niemann plays queen g6 to cover the pawn, anticipating the check, king h7, and then you're covered here. But actually, you have to go for counterplay, accept that your man cave is collapsing. something, for example, like queen c2. Yes, the check comes, you run away here, knight crashes through, but then you can get counterplay against this pawn. Won't carry on the game from here, but it is the way to go. Play for the initiative in response. However, not played in the game. This was selected, getting those double question marks. Look at the rise over here of the eval baron. What's the shot for white to be significantly better? Knight to c8, blitzed out, and you're threatening a family fork or a royal fork. Family fork works well. And what to do? It doesn't matter which piece you move, something's being dropped. So we see this, but anyway the knight can hop because that queen's on this amazing dark diagonal. Takes, queen recaptures, and Ruslan is an exchange ahead, but it just gets better. His conversion here is absolutely flawless, Magnus-esque. That pawn now attacked, and let's pause here. Say you're playing white, clock's ticking, wash your play.
Mushrooms.
So this is about to collapse. Okay, you can't defend. You can't defend. We can realise that quite quick. b3, no good. What about b4? Because the queen is covering the base of the chain. Not a good move. Because then, knight e4. Queen's hit. Say she moves, threatening a check and stuff. But now the pawn drops because you weakened the base of the chain. So on and so forth. This with the knight on d5. Real counterplay for black. I never explored this. There's a good way to lose the game. This is why I'm not playing in the weekly tournament. So okay, b4 not done, h4. But look at the clock times on the left. 1 minute 27, bang. They get a second back per move. So this was basically blitzed in a second. All of that was worked out with the pawn. Kicking the knight. Now it centralizes. Whoops, it doesn't. If it centralized, there's queen f3. And you double hit it, so there's no time to take the pawn. If knight d2, well, then you can move the queen somewhere. Queen d1 actually best, because then if takes, there's rook e2, I guess. You know, amazing lines. Ruslan sees it all. Now he brings the pawn to b4, and the knight can't enter e4. So g5 in response from Niemann, desperate to shake it up here, bring that knight hopping in, but now queen e3, solid and steady as a rock. f4 kicks the knight, back to e6. Doesn't matter that the king is weakened, because now this king can tuck up to the second rank once the rook allows it, and this is very nice, mature play. h4 rips things open, but that one is just whipped off the board fearlessly, not caring that black can take here. Niemann doesn't do it, because then the knight is lost due to this pin, and the checks don't help. Hang on, what if this one? I never fully checked it out. Okay, king g3. And things are a bit of a problem. You end up having to swap the queens, right? Probably the knight's going to get trapped. So we didn't see the pawn taken. Instead, we get king h6, stepping from checks and stuff like that. Rook e1, queen c2 check, and the king tucks in here now. Really beautiful play. The knight headed for f5. How do you now fight against this one? Time is ticking. Clock running down. f5. Best move. Beautiful chess. I mean, it really is, because now when the knight takes with check, king h3, you've opened these lines for the rook to come and party. Now, by the way, I'm not implying that Ruslan was cheating here, even though he's playing a fantastic game of chess. I don't believe he was cheating, just looks good to me. I'm just saying it's fantastic chess, right? Amazing, considering this guy is just a candidate master, but he's young, he's 13. They do an absolute ton of Puzzle Rush, of course. They play online all the time. These kids are getting strong. Rook f2, queen e6 check. Now the king sidesteps here. Queen into f4, the very stinky f6. But what to do at this stage? You're getting absolutely hunted. Look at this conversion. Niemann is up on the clock here. Niemann, sorry. But the white piece is too powerful. It's getting slowly pushed back. And h5, move 59, seals the deal. Niemann's had enough here. He resigns the game because what to do? I don't know. Can you move the king anywhere? Maybe here. I guess you can just keep running the pawn. Check, it says. King back. Run the pawn now? Maybe. Yeah. At the minute the engine wants to give up the queen. Shows how bad it is. This the final position. Then Hans Niemann stopped playing the tournament. It was round 8. He's on 5.5 out of 8. Not a good score by his standards. He'd had enough. He quit the tournament. This was too much. The straw that broke the camel's back in this one. Hope you enjoyed this great game, and have a look at the video on screen if you want to see the time that Vladimir Kramnik rage quit chess.com itself after playing Hikaru. Thanks very much for watching, and see you soon. Cheers.